Yan! Kamusta kayo dyan, mga kameta, mga kamarites State University? Kamusta na kayo dyan? Congratulations sa Pilipinas! Ayan, may championship na tayo. You know, honestly, I didn't think that ever dito sa lifetime natin magkaroon ng ganitong ka-level of excitement sa isang football match involving the Philippines. No offense dun sa mga Ascals and all, pero yung mga female football team natin, grabe yung level of excitement. Talagang nakita ko dun sa Twitter na talagang yung mga tao nag-ole, ole, ole, ole. Malapit na sila mag-Mexican alam mo yung mga Mexican wave ba yan? Yung mga wow, gumagawa. Nakikita mo yung level ng excitement eh. Nakita mo talaga yung mga tao nakakuha ng good vibes dun sa team natin. The best talaga ito. Congratulations in the time of BBM. Yan, sasabihin na naman nila yan. Sasabihin na naman ng mga kapatid natin sa Bloggers Union dahil kay BBM na naman yan, sasabihin nila. Basta may magandang mangyari dahil sa kanila yan. Pag may masamang nangyari, kasalanan ng stagflation, kasalanan ng solar system, kasalanan ng dating admin, ganon. So, congratulations dito sa ating champions! Yan! Kamusta naman dyan? Congratulations dito sa women's national team natin. Yun, no? Talagang no match yung mga kalaban. Grabe, talagang purong tambak yung mga kalaban. Guys, sa football, 2-0, 3-0, tambak na yan. Okay? Hindi siya katulad ng basketball na talagang pwede 100 points to 100. Sa football, kahit one goal lang, minsan napakahirap. So you can watch games, no? Between Asian teams and let's say Argentina, Brazil, minsan 1-0 lang yung result. That's enough, right? Kasi yung football kasi parang buhay yan eh. You know, miracles can happen, twists and turns can happen, the underdogs can win. Hindi siya katulad ng basketball. Talaga kung mas matangkat ka or mas magaling ka, game over na yan. Kaya nga sabi ko, parati kong sinasabi, we should invest more sa football. We should invest sa football. In fact, ito yung contrast talaga kahapon eh. Just nung time na talagang depressed yung iba, na tambak ang Pilipinas sa New Zealand, may basketball team palang New Zealand. sorry to say that. May basketball team palang New Zealand. Alam ko yung Australia, napakagaling. Ranked number 3 in the world yata ang Australia ngayon dun sa FIBA rankings. Pero New Zealand, mas marami yatang tao dito sa barangay namin kaysa yung buong New Zealand. Ayan na, napuso. Ayan, tuloy. So, compare mo yan, in the same 24-hour cycle, you had this for our basketball and you had this for our football. Now, I saw some geniuses, may mga henyo nagsabi dyan, puro naman mga half-half or mga foreigners dyan. Hello, parang wala naman mga naturalized or mga half-half players din dun sa mga ibang teams natin, including dun sa basketball team natin. Guys naman, wag kayong ganon. Yes, it's true na yes, maraming mga tisay, maraming mga halong dugo, mga nandito sa ating football team. And of course, just to be clear, gusto natin more locally bred, talents. Lalong-lalo dyan sa Mindanao and Visayas, Mindanao lalo, napakadami magaling dyan na football players dyan. Yes, I'm 100% for that, na more locally nurtured talents, and we have to really invest in the domestic capacity building. But it's not like yung basketball teams natin, lalong-lalo na yung Gilas hindi nag-rely sa naturalized players, yung mga completely walang dugong Pilipino. And also yung mga Phil-Ams, a lot of them never spend time really in the Philippines in a sustained way, diba? Doon lang sa, I don't know, league dyan sa US, yung isa nga NBA ganun, tapos nilagay lang sa team natin. So guys, let's not go down that road of trying to dismiss itong achievements ng ating national team dahil lang may mga tisay tayo mga kasama dyan. Of course, as I said, 100% agree ako na whether sa basketball, whether sa football, whether any sports, gusto natin yung mga locally nurtured talent. At sana, next generation, no? At ito guys, nakapasok tayo sa FIFA World Cup. No offense but entering the FIFA World Cup is several times more difficult than entering FIBA. yung version nila sa FIBA or even yung Olympics, I'll be very honest about that. Napakahirap po yung football talaga sa World Cup. Nakapasok tayo sa World Cup. May mga henyo dyan sinasabi, ano lang naman yan, Southeast Asia lang, tinalo natin Thailand, Vietnam. Hello, nakapasok na sila sa World Cup, no? And if ganyan ka-level yung performance, they have a good chance there. So may mga henyo dyan nagsabi, bitter ka dyan sa basketball. Hindi ako bitter sa basketball. I'm a football fan and I always felt, and this is what I'm gonna say, sorry, I think football is better fit for us because unang-una, let me put it this way. So may mga henyo nagsabi, basketball, lagay ka lang ng ring ganun, pwede na. Hello, football, you don't even need a ring. Pwede mo laruin yan sa kalsada, lagay mo lang 2 rock. And yung wasak na bola, pwede mo na laruin yan. Ayaw maniwala, look at the talents that Brazil has produced, no? Marami dyan sa mga players. I don't know kung si Neymar, ganun din ang background. Pero alam ko yung golden generation ng Brazil national team, paano nila Roberto Carlos, Ronaldo, Rivaldo. Marami sa kanila galing sa favelas, dun sa mga squatter areas nila. Naglaro-laro lang sila dun sa tabi-tabi sa streets. You go around the world, you see in the poorest countries in the world, they can play football anywhere, no? Because football is one of the most low-maintenance games you can imagine there, right? Pwede natin laruin yan sa barangay, dito lang sa tabi-tabi, sa kahit saan, pwede yan, sa tondo, gano'n. So, if Brazil, with very limited funds, could create the best players in the world, diba? Brazil, diba? Why not Philippines, diba? Why not Philippines? Kasi guys, aminin natin, ang basketball, pagdating sa highest level, whether Asian Championship, FIBA Championship, NBA, I'm sorry, height is 70% of the game. Let's just be brutally honest about it. Kahit ikaw ang pinakamagaling na player, kung kahit mo lang ako, mga 5'11 lang gano'n, tapos andun ka sa 5'10, 5'11, 6 foot ka lang, tapos kalaban mo 6 foot 5, 6 na point guard. But it's not even that Lalong-lalo na sa center players. Kung sila may 7-footer, 7'1, 7'2, na konting galing lang, ang hirap na Nakita natin dito sa Asian Championship pala, yung mga bansang katulad ng China, Iran, yung mga ganun na may 7-footer na maayos, whether Yao Ming, Haddadi, ganun. Di tayo makahabol doon. And it's not really lack of talent, it's really about the physics of basketball. And sa basketball, guys, you cannot play a defensive counter-offensive game. In football, you can be a third world country, you go to the World Cup, you play defensive Italiano, Azzurri style, you can still win the game 1-0. You can still take the game 0-0 to penalties and win it. You cannot do that in basketball. Basketball, score here, score dyan, score dyan, score dyan. And if one team is really better, you will see the dynamics will really shift in favor of one team, tamba. Sa football, kung wala kang ganun kamagaling na forward players, if you have a good strategy, defensive and counter-offensive strategy, you can defend, and then, kahit kulang ka sa talent dun sa front, pwede ka bumawi in terms of counter-attacks. We have had so many cases of Asian teams keeping it very close and sometimes almost beating other teams. Sa World Cup, among others, versus Portugal, versus Spain, etc. And tignan mo naman, 5'7", 5'6" lang si Messi. He's the best player on the planet right now, is considered like that. Cristiano Ronaldo is 6'1", 6 foot. He can jump like crazy and goal, etc. And you know what I'm saying? Like, even their tall players, except the goalkeepers in football, medyo malapit sa average height natin bilang mga Asiano Look at it this way. Asian teams do far better on average, and Asian players do far better on average in football at the highest level than in basketball. Korea, let's take example for Korea. So, si Son, actually, lasag na sa Seoul ako. Paglabas ko, daming tao. Wow, parang sikat ako. Daming tao, ganyan. Yung pala, dumating si Son. Yung Korean player sa Spurs, Tottenham Hotspurs. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like 6'1" or 6 foot. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can find a lot of Korean players playing at the highest level, whether it's Tottenham Hotspur, that is Manchester United. You have players in Italy, Inter Milan, etc., Arsenal, etc., Japanese Asians. Now, tell me how many Asian players are playing in the best NBA teams? Tell me how many Filipinos made it to NBA. Right? I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's just something about football that is more physically fit sa atin mga Asiano. Because I think basketball is inherently favoring certain people of certain genetic racial background. Although the concept of race is debatable. But let's just say, certain communities with certain physique, have natural advantage, even if yung dribbling talent, tactics. So, yes, agree ako na may problema tayo sa Gilas pagdating sa management, coaching, and all. Pero honestly, even if kukuha kayo ng the best, no? The best na manager, coach, etc., we cannot compete at the highest level when we discuss Olympics. Hindi nga tayo makaka-qualify sa Olympics. When was the last time the Philippines qualified for Olympics? Etong football natin, naka-World Cup ka agad. And look at look at how much money goes into basketball in the Philippines. We're talking about a multi-billion industry, right? Look at how much money went. Wala nga tayong matinong stadium eh. I mean, no offense, pero yung stadium natin, training field lang yan sa ibang teams. Diba? No offense. Wala man lang tayo isang, really next level stadium. Although, of course, hindi, yung isang Philippine arena natin, diba? Pwede pa yan. But you get what I'm saying? But parang private yun eh. So, come on, guys. Football is fun. You could be 70, 80, 100,000 people there. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's the most egalitarian, beautiful game out there. No offense to basketball. Hindi ako bitter sa basketball. It's just that basketball is not that level. I'm sorry. I would say even volleyball is better than basketball, to be honest about it. So, yun lang sinasabi ko na sana mag-invest tayo, guys, more dito sa football natin. And yes, down the road, hopefully, whether Ascals or yung team natin, female team natin, sana mag-rely din tayo more on local talents, hindi lang foreign talents. Because I know yung magiging criticism is like, wait lang, Philippine team ba yan, di ba? Yeah, parang blonde yung goalkeeper. Okay, you can say that, but the point is, football needs far less investments. Football is far more cost efficient. Like for every peso you put into football, I think we can get better outcome out of that. And let's not forget, we have actually still having great players. You see Paulino Alcantara, for instance. Now, this is outdated, but for a while, Paulino had more goals for Barcelona than Messi, right? Now, there are two ways to count it. There's a different way of counting it, but if you look at the total goals, Paulino Alcantara, I think half Ilonggo siya, di ba? Espanyol Ilonggo siya. He played for both Philippines national team and also for Spain, obviously. Pero my sense is, kung nag-invest tayo sa Philippines, matagal na tayo maraming Paulino Alcantaras, di ba? Whether half Spanish, whether half American, whether whatever, Brazilian or pure Filipino, it doesn't matter. The point is, we have had these kinds of Filipinos or half Filipinos who were among the best in the world. But tell me, have we had anything like that in the basketball world, right? Because, what Paulino did was almost like Kobe Bryant level, right? What he did was he was the top scorer for one of the best clubs in the world. What is our counterpart in NBA? Forget about NBA. What about leagues in Spain? Ilang players natin sa Barcelona, Real Madrid sa basketball, right? Or what? Argentina. You get what I'm saying, right? You get what I'm saying? So my point is that alam ko, kasi colonial legacy natin to eh. Di sana kung pipili ako, pipiliin ko na ng colonial legacy ng Spain pagdating sa sports kaysa Amerika eh. Kasi at least ito, di ba? Mas tugma sa atin, guys. So if you look at it, our Asian neighbors, Korean, Japanese, and then in the West Asia, Middle Easterns, they do far better in football. They have star players in Europe in ways we never had star players in NBA or the top leagues in the world in basketball. And I would say 70% of that is really just height. It has nothing to do with talent. I think it's really 70% height. Right? Yun lang. Sinasabi ni Paul sa huli ang pagsisisi, bakit tapos na bang universe? Di ba? Hindi pa naman. Di ba? May time pa naman. Di ba? Sana. But my point is, let this success make us reflect on what we want to do. Because napakasaya, yung pinapanood mo talaga yung mga tao eh. Like, yung level of excitement ng tao watching the football, they got excited like, wow! Mga kabayan natin, nagiging excited sa football. Kasi it feels lonely being football guy minsan sa Pilipinas. Ikaw lang naka-football jersey, no? Lahat sila Michael Jordan, naka LeBron James. Tapos parang hindi ka makarelate eh. Yung mga cousins ko, puro mga basketball. Hindi ako makarelate masyado eh. Basta. Ayan tayo. Gets nyo ba, guys? Yung nga yung point ko eh. We have to be more cost-effective in terms of our investment and all. In fact, yung mga kapitbahay natin, Vietnam, which is a country poorer than the Philippines until recently in terms of per capita income, Vietnam made it pretty high level dun sa youth team nila sa football. I think they made it to World Cup, right? And then they did also pretty well dun sa Asian qualifiers for World Cup. They made it to the round 3, no? And they didn't do too bad. I think they had a good match against Japan. They had good match against Australia and China, I think. So, if you look at it, we have our neighbors, katulad ng Vietnam and Thailand, very similar in physique to us, developing countries also like us, doing pretty decent in international football, and sila baguhan din sila sa football, in a sense that they don't have a long tradition of competitive football at the highest levels with a national team or even club team. Although for a while Thailand had good football teams, that were making it pretty high level dun sa Asian Championships, Club Championships. So, yun lang sinasabi ko, guys. Alam ko, excited tayo. But I'll be honest, I watch NBA, I can't relate. There are like giants and all. Like, I cannot relate. I watch football, I can relate. Most of them are my height, right? I can relate to them, right? Like, hindi sila intimidating na parang they're different, you know what I'm saying, species na gano'n. Football, I watch them, parang, kaya ko rin yan eh, di ba? Parang, kaya ko rin yan eh. You get what I'm saying? So, yun lang. Yun lang. Good vibes. Good vibes tayo dyan, guys. Good vibes tayo dyan. Ito yung football kahapon eh. Ito. Ang saya talaga panoorin eh. Ito kahapon. Yung nag-goal. Yung nag-goal sila. Tignan mo naman, you like, listen to people. Yan o! Yan o! Yan o! Yan eh! Yun eh! Kahit ganyan lang field natin. Imagine guys, if full support tayo dito. I mean, I don't even know, no offense, but I don't even know many people here even understand yung basic rules ng football, diba? Hindi, okay, maybe basic, but some of the more difficult technical issues. I'm sure marami na dyan just, you know, for support and fun and happiness because finally we have a good thing. I think second goal. Although medyo may pagka-volleyball style eh. Medyo it's different from what are you. Tignan mo yung goal na yun, di ba? Bounce back, and then bounce. Medyo may pagka-volleyball nangyari. Yun eh. You see what I'm saying? This is football. Yan. Ayan na naman yung mga marami pang pinklawan yata doon, ha? Ayan tayo, Ayan, sa panahon ni BBM, naging champion. Come on, guys, football is the best. I'm sorry, man. Football is life. Kailangan mo lang, just few rocks, some whatever ball. Alam mo ako, I used to play football when I was a kid. We played football with plastic balls sometimes. Just with plastic balls lang, ha? With plastic balls lang. And I really enjoyed it. Although, I'm more a goalkeeper. But yun nga, kasi yung kamay kong hawa. I mean, I think I have like a 78-inch reach. Ang hawa ng kamay ko, tsaka yung shoulders kung gano'n. But I'm not that tall eh. Kung siguro naging 6'1" ako or 2 gano'n, I would have gone more all the way goalkeeper, more pro level. But I did pretty well and I enjoyed it. I really love football. And doon din sa Baguio, by the way, meron din kami mga dyan mga field dyan. Yung mga taga Brent, meron sila magandang field dyan doon sa Baguio. Ganda doon eh. Tsaka Melvin Jones, naglaro-laro din ako doon. I was catching penalties. That's how good I was. Like, penalty, nakukuha ko, Ayan. Wala lang, kasi matanda na ako millennial, Kung sana, may time na yun, may smartphone and all. Na-video na lahat yan, na-upload ko na yung vlog, Yun ang kagandahan ng mga kabataan ngayon. Nakaka-capture nila lahat ng mga formative years experiences nila. But anyway, sabi ni Nixon Corpus, may mga half Filipinos in NBA. Yeah, but these are Pinoys who were raised there, right? Not here. You're talking about the guy in LA, right? LA Lakers before, right? Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, did we have talents who were raised here and then they went there and got recruited in NBA? Like Yao Ming, for instance, or sino yung Taiwanese? Yung Taiwanese player na you get what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. But anyways, we're digressing. Ang point ko dito is mas swak talaga sa atin ng football ever since. In fact, for a very long times, the Philippines had the record of the biggest win in football, Asia football. I think like we beat some of our neighbors like 10-0 or something like that. Sobrang lakas yung team natin kaya football natin yung early decades of the 20th century. And then ito, buti nga hindi na tayo nag-baseball pang masyado. Parang, no offense, but okay, whatever. Basta for Asians, feeling ko talaga para sa atin, football, among the big, let's say big three, volleyball, basketball, and football, I think football is swak talaga sa atin. Because both volleyball and basketball, may height bias yan eh. May height bias yan eh. Although in fairness, believe ako sa Japan, they're doing pretty well sa volleyball also against very top teams. Oy, Kylo, Zork Aleda, umayos ka. Alam ko troll ka, umayos ka. Alright? Okay. Small boy ka lang, alam ko yan. Okay. Alright. Yeah, si Jordan Clarkson. But Jordan Clarkson, he's really raised in the US. Nakataon the mom is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Okay, never mind. Let's not go there. Ito si Alcantara, Paulino Alcantara, he played for Philippine national team. I think he was born in Iloilo, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it's not like, you know, nagkataon lang yung nanay niya, Pinay or something like that. Okay. Anyway, so, ayan. So on a less light note, light note, bukas ko na lang balikan itong issue ng China eh. Kasi may mga palusot-palusot pa dyan ng China. Eh, budul-budul game naman yung nangyari sa investment. But anyway, balikan ko na lang bukas siguro yan. Kanina, nag-trending din pala si Lenny and all. Dahil dito sa issue ng COA. Because may new report ng COA, which is kind of flagging. Ito I'm not gonna give any legal judgment. This is not my area, so don't expect me to give it. It's not. I'm not a lawyer, so and I'm not even if I were a lawyer, I wouldn't give any judgment on this. So kanina, my news na nagtrending si Lenny na COA flags OVP Office of Vice President Lenny over hiring of private lawyer. No. So the Commission on Audit said that the Office of the Vice President illegally hired a private lawyer as a legal consultant. In a report on the 2021 budget released last week, auditors said the move during the final year of Vice President Lenny Robredo violated COA rules as the OVP lacked clearance from the COA and the Solicitor General. Okay? And of course, that former Solicitor General is now the head of COA, right? So, ito yung sinabi ng COA. In the view of the lack of written conformity and acquiescence of the Solicitor General and the written concurrence of COA, and despite having legal officers, payments made to the legal consultant are considered irregular and unnecessary expenditures. No, ayon sa kanila, the office of the president apparently did not act upon the request, so the AP said it had to resort to a consultancy. Okay, so sabi naman ng OVP office nila Lenny, so I'm just trying to be fair, na showing both sides. Sabi naman ng OVP na the consultant worked as a policy advisor, not a legal officer, who do routine legal services such as drafting of review of contracts. So, policy advisor siya. It also said that it had asked the Office of the President for the creation of positions for policy advisors. So, ang problema is, because wala yung policy advisor dapat nandun, parang nakakonsider ito as legal advisor, and that would go against the COA rules. But the OVP already transmitted this issue, apparently, to the Office of the President under former President Duterte, but mukhang hindi yan walang follow-through masyado. However, COA rejected the explanation, saying the salaries paid to the consultant from January 2020 to July 2021 shall be disallowed, and those who approve the payment should be held liable for the disallowance. The COA issued the notice of disallowance on April 2022, which is currently under appeal. So, nangyari ito nung April pa lang, panahon ni Duterte po yan, wala pang bagong presidente. But the thing is, so we have people from the former Duterte admin who are also in top positions in the BBM administration, including in charge of COA. So ito but ito kasi ang issue eh. So, maraming tao dyan, hindi nila na-appreciate yung fact na for 4 straight years, no, Lenny actually top yung transparency, accountability criteria of the OVP they were seen. So sila yung kumuha ng highest audit rating given to a government agency. So that's interesting. Na yung pinaka-star and Bibo, ngayon, may ganun na issue, no? So that's why some people are saying, is this valid? Is this more than that? So I think that's why mahalaga talaga dito sa bagong administration. They make it very clear na whatever they're doing here is not part of any kind of political move. And also, it's not part of cracking down on the opposition or etc. Because nakikita natin, again, I'm not passing a final judgment, but I'm saying the optics may not come off the way the government wants it to come out. And I saw even some people saying baka ang mangyari kay Lenny is yung nangyari kay Senator De Lima or something like that, diba? So, and because Lenny, has no government opposition right now, lalo pa siyang potentially vulnerable. So I can understand these concerns that are being raised. That's why mahalaga na yung ating gobyerno will come with clarifications that this is not just, what I'm talking about, but that this is a routine way of looking at things. Because let's not forget, the Lenny OVP office 4 years straight had the highest audit rating. And if you look at a lot of independent experts from all around the world, they have so much respect for OVP office of Lenny precisely because of that 21st century governance that she represented. Transparent, accountable, dynamic. Right. Now, ibang usapan ang perception, ang elections. We know elections, a lot of it is about perceptions. But if you're looking at objective assessments, we had already 4 years straight top rating for Lenny's office by the same COA, right? Although, of course, the head of COA is now different. Now, again, I'm not here to pass judgments on this issue, but I'm saying the optics is also important here, and therefore, it's also important for clarifications to be made in this regard, no? Yun lang. Now, I'm not judging in either or. So let's see how this case moves forward. Let's see what are the further clarifications that the Lenny office Lenny will come with. Let's also look at the COA and the evidence and all that they provide, and look at how also this will be acted upon. All right, I'll keep it there because I don't want to pass any premature judgment on this issue. But what I can say is that there's an optics factor here, and optics also matter very much. All right, I'll keep it there. Bukas na natin pag-usapan ng China kasi baka ma-hurt na yung mga tatay team dyan. Kasi syempre para sa kanila si tatay ang pinaka-genius, pinaka-expert kahit zero ang investments na nakuha from China in terms of high-quality investments. Proud pa sila na zero. Sabi, di ba zero? Wala naman nangyaring kababalakan. Actually, kung magaling ka, you get good investments and with no corruption. That's what a good leader is all about. Not getting anything is not necessarily a point of pride, right? Especially after sabihin mo, mabait tayo dito sa West Philippine Sea ha, anuin natin yung US para makuha tayo ng investment dito. Tapos nung hindi dumating ang investment, di ba hindi tayo kumuha ng investment? At least wala naman nangyaring debt, di ba? That's not how it works, my friend. That's not how it works. Dami yung hanash. Kuda ng kuda. Alright, mag-thank you muna ako dito sa mga ating mga kameta. Yun eh. Thank you very much naman dyan kay Cecile Balingit, kay Sally Natividad, kay Jen Aquino. Sorry, maglagay muna ako ng eyeglasses si Zaddy. Kay Jen Aquino, sabi ni Jen Aquino, first time I saw a football game sold agad ako. Totally different level. Good job sa football team natin. And, not to say anything, I mean, you guys haven't even seen the highest level of football, just to be clear about that. No, but all kudos, no? I mean, I'm sure this team can do better and better, and all support to our football players and teams, including sa mga kaibigan natin dyan sa Ascals. No? I mean, they get, as I said, hopefully more local talent, hopefully more investments and all. But the big lesson is clear. Mas swak sa atin mga Pinoy. Physics-wise, everything-wise, ang football. I'll just be honest. And the football is the biggest sport on earth. I'm sorry. World Cups sometimes are bigger than Olympics. In fact, I think they're already bigger than Olympics. So it's the biggest game. It's a beautiful game. Despite all the controversies and all, alam na natin yan. Sana din kay Ma'am Jocelyn. Sabi niya, thank you for all the posting over the weekend. Very informative. Good evening pala. I said good morning earlier. Time difference. Ayan. Joining us from Estados Unidos. Muchas gracias, Señora Jocelyn Lumberio. Alright. Thank you, John. Kay Ayanga. Parang ayan tayo. Alright. Kay Ellie de los Santos, wala pang party ng 3 days na yung para sana pang football. Ayan. Ano yung mga ole, yung mga ganon. Dapat meron tayong version natin eh. Tsaka may version tayo ng Mexican wave, ganon. Thank you kay Jigs Arrowness. Thank you kay Maria Esmeralda. Thank you kay Naomi Tablare. Ang sabi niya, magandang gabi Sir Zaddy. As always, thank you for your metas. Appreciated. Watching from Quezon City. Thank you din kay Ellie de los Santos. Anong ganap ngayon, sir? Mamaya na tayo. Master Zen. Ayan, papunta daw in Hawaii. Shout out naman dyan. Thank you rin kay Jeremiah Abarca. Thank you kay Rizani. Thank you kay Gigi Balderrama. Thank you kay Fatima Estrella. Angeline Ballesteros. Si Genevieve Datuin, sabi niya, yes, more power sa Women's Philippine National Team. Angat mga babae. Yan talaga eh. Thank you rin kay Malord Riose. Thank you kay Dulce Zaide. Thank you kay Victoria Baltazar. And thank you kay Benji Jericho. Yun, no? Talagang marami tayong mga supporters and friends natin dyan. No? Parang na-heard yata yung iba dyan na may sinabi tayo sa basketball. Mukhang marami tayong mga basketball fans and players dito na hindi natuwa dito sa mga sinabi natin. I'm just saying, guys. Hindi ko naman sinabi na wag tayo mag-basketball. I'm just saying, mas tugma lang sa atin yung basketball. Maybe that's something we can focus on. And maybe, you know, we can get something more out of that. Thank you, John. Thank you for your stars and your support, guys. I very much appreciate it. Although medyo konting stars natin ngayon, magtatampo na ako soon. Porkit nag-usap lang tayo ng sports konti. Gusto nyo kasi puro mga kudahan na siya. Ayan, medyo good vibes naman tayo, guys, eh. Nag-effort pa ako, naglagay pa ako ng ganyan-ganyan. Tapos, wala kayong love and support. Wag naman ganyan, guys. Alright. Ayan na, nagpaparinig na. Ganyan style ko eh, nagpaparinig. Wait lang, nakikita niyo ba kayo na, ayan, learning a lot naman daw, sabi ni John. Ayan, nagpaparinig na. Ayan na. Medyo, dumarating na yung mga, sige na nga, bigyan natin tong Ilocanong to. Sige na nga. Parang ganun kayo eh. Sige na nga na kayo eh. Hindi galing sa puso eh. Ayoko ng ganyan. Gusto ko yung talagang may hugot, di ba? Ayan tayo eh. Basta real talk tayo, guys. Real talk talaga tayo dito sa football versus basketball. I'm not saying we have to choose between the two. I'm just saying, maybe we have to pay more attention dun sa isa kaysa yung isa. Ayan na si Ma'am Eunice to the rescue, si Mayora. Thank you din kay Myth Gaddy. Ayan na, nagparinig kasi. Thank you kay Grace Kitayama. Tumawa daw siya. Joanna Aleta. Thank you rin kay Pamela Moy. Kay Jonalyn San Fernandez. Kay Lope Sariel the Third. Kay Dian Liasos. Yan. Thank you kay Laura Del Jose. Ayan. Ito yung mga, nung pinaringgan ko, medyo nagpakitang gilas na yan tayo. Thank you kay Sena Makalala. Oh, yan, no? Talaga yung mga friends natin from Australia. Our mates. Yung mga Adidas friends natin. Yung mga dumating from Australia, may Adidas na dala, pero hindi binigay sa'yo. Pinaasa ka lang. Ayan tayo. Hindi to personal story, guys. It's fiction. Semi-fiction. Ayan. Ito si Nixon Corpus. Itong boy libre of the decade yan. Talagang mahilig mag-comment, mahilig makikape, pero hindi nag-order ever. Yan. Salamat. Ayan si Ma'am Jocelyn to the rescue. Wag naman ganyan. Hindi naman ganon. Thank you, pero wag naman ganon. Yung iba yung pinaparinggan ko. Ayan na si Jella. Oh, by the way, guys, Ito. Ay, thank you rin pala kay Che Rosal. If hindi ko na-mention, isa rin yan sa ating Meta Club. VIP members na sila. Meron na kayo dapat VIP, Ito guys, nag-upload na ako kanina dito sa Meta natin. Oh, ito na, so nilagay ko na yung interview ko with Ma'am Clarita Carlos. Ito yung buo, complete. Gusto ko sabihin kompleto and complete naging complete. Ito 1 hour siya almost, no? 1 hour siya almost. Paki-check yan. Ipopost ko yan, pakinggan yan. Kasi yung pinost na isa, parang short version lang. Ito yung long version. Lalabas din soon yung interview ko with Secretary Balisacan, paki-check. Also, interview soon with another secretary. Sa pangalan na Tulfo, alright? We'll have more discussion soon. So, yon, alright, masaya yan. Marami tayong kausapin dito sa bagong mga kabinete ni bagong presidente natin, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Meron din ako interview na upload dito. Other interviews I've done, including with some ambassadors, including Ukrainian Ambassador Alexander Nechitailo. Ito, pakicheck yan. In-upload ko rin yan. So, mga 1 hour discussion din yan. So, 30 minutes. 1 hour nga. 50 minutes. So, medyo extensive yan. Please check. I'm beginning to upload all of this stuff. So, hindi lang yung mga lang natin nandito. Hindi lang yung mga meta natin ina-upload ko dito for ease of access. I'm also putting other, let's say, more special, exclusive / engaging content. So, there'll be also more interviews I'll be doing with experts and all. Abangan nyo yan. We're gonna have more. So please continue to support dito sa podcast ko. Wala naman akong kita dito eh. Wala naman akong dyan. Bayad pa ako ng wifi, internet, electricity, fan. Pag off yung internet, yung fan, bayaran ko pa yung ano ko. Mahirap talaga, kaya supportahan nyo. Okay. Star lang ha, bigyan nyo yung star. Para 1,000 na likes naman tayo dito. Medyo target natin dito maka 1,000. Para that way, nasa top 5 na tayo sa Pilipinas. Yun no, talagang standard ko ngayon dito. See, I'm so humble. Ang standard ko, local lang. Ayan na naman tayo. Madadali naman ako. Alright. Thank you very much. Again, thank you very much kay Riz Anyo. Yun, no? Talagang thank kay Mikrenzet Sipcon. Anong size ng sapatos mo, Prof? Hindi sa padalan kita para maalbor ko yung football shoes mo. Wala akong football shoes ngayon, actually. Meron ako Nike dati, nasira na, di ko nagamit eh. Ay, sayang nga. Nasaan na kaya yun? Pinamigay ko yata eh. Hanap ako ng football shoes. Sige. Kasi alam mo, ang pinakagusto kong football, yung indoor football. The best yan. Mas enjoy ko pa yan. Dahil hindi mainit, aircon, diba? Mas gusto ko yan. Although, pag nahulog ka, mas masakit kaysa yung sa football field mismo. Ayan. Thank you very much din sa si Ma'am Jocelyn, talaga supportive sa atin yan. Yeah, done listening your interview, Ma'am Carlos. Ayan, sabi ni Grace Kitayama, Visaya ka, Prof. Hindi ako Visaya, Ilocano ako. Okay? Alam ko yung Tagalog ko parang ewan. Pero Ilocano ewan yan. Yung lola ko nga, Chinese style yung Ilocano niya eh. Ay, yung Tagalog na. Ikaw baka. Basta ganyan niya. Oh, by the way, please guys, prayers for my lola. I wanted to actually ask you last Saturday ba. Thank God she's doing well. Actually, nasa hospital si lola past few days. She has had some issues and all. Siyempre medyo, lola is not at her youngest. So there were some issues with her. So please, prayers po for Lola Elisa recovery. Malapit na po yung kanyang birthday, no? So medyo mid-80s na si Lola. Thank you, Lord. So please, guys, prayers for Lola Elisa para makarecover siya soon and we can celebrate her upcoming birthday very soon, no? So maraming salamat, guys, for your support. And I wanted to actually ask you Saturday, but I was just, trying to update and all of that. So maraming salamat sa support nyo. So Lola, I love you, Lola. If you're watching me, just in case na kung nakalabas ka na dun sa hospital, love you, Lola. See you soon, ha? God willing. Alright, ikaw the best. Kahit yung Tagalog mo, mas malala pa sa akin. Ikaw pa rin the best. Okay? Ayan tayo. Ayan, futsal. Tama, Steven. That's what I'm talking about, futsal. Yung indoor football, right? I really like futsal. And futsal, 4-5 players lang kayo, diba? Madali lang. Tapos yung goal, hindi ganun kalaki. Pero in a way, parang mas mahirap pa siya eh. Alright. Okay, thank you rin kay Naomi Tablare. Thank you very much. Today, good vibes lang tayo. I mean, 80% good vibes. So minsan, huwag kayo magalit kung ganyan ang usapan. Alam ko, naghanap lang kayo ng mga Marites State University kasi kayo eh. Ang hinahanap niyo, mga away-away, mga gulo-gulo ganun. Pero, minsan, good vibes din naman tayo. Medyo real talk naman tayo dito sa sports. I hope, guys, hindi kayo na-hurt dun sa mga sinabi ko about, it's not for us. Okay, I mean, I'm not that tall too. So, I'm saying this to myself too, right? So, please don't take it in the wrong way. Alright? Maraming salamat. Thank you very much. Salamat sa mga kaibigan natin joining us from Australia, from New Zealand. Kaya tinalo niyo yung gilas natin. Sige na nga. Patawarin ko kayo. Ayan naman tayo. Thank you dyan sa mga friends natin joining us from Malaysia, from United Arab Emirates, from Saudi Arabia, from the Middle East, from Europe, from US. Ano yung mga friends natin from Canada? Yun, yung mga Canadian friends natin dyan. From California. Nasaan na kayo dyan? Friends natin dyan from Mindanao, from Visayas. Parang wala ako masyadong taga Baguio, no? Mga kapsat ko from Baguio. Nasaan na kayo? Yeah, mga kapsat natin from Baguio. Thank you very much also for joining us. Or kung hindi ka nag-join, please join us in the future. Let's have more discussion about that. Yep. And thank you very much to sa mga ka-QC, Quezon City, mga munti ko pa nagsabi, Jumpy Madrigal. Ano pangalan? Joy Belmonte. Jumpy Madrigal, layo. Okay, ayan tayo. Ayan, and thank you so much also, guys, for prayers and support kay Lola para naman the best na naman si Lola. Kasi I was very glad na si Lola was feeling better. I visited her diba a few weeks ago before ako nag-abroad again. And thank God she was doing very well. She was out dahil medyo nag-relax ng lockdowns. She felt better. Medyo nag-hairstyle siya ng parang medyo guazon. Medyo Ma'am Guazon at Ma'am Carlos ang medyo dating na, di ba? And all. And then, yun nga, kaya medyo nabigla ako na nasa hospital si Lola for a few days. So hopefully out na siya and okay na siya. And please, I really support your prayers and love. And para birthday kami soon with Lola. Gusto ni Lola special eh. Talaga si Lola style ng ganito. Oh, Richard, kailan ka babalik sa Baguio? Bakit? Ganito, Lola, ganyan. Siguraduhin mo. Tapos yung palang paparinig kasi birthday niya, di ba? Birthday niyo. Opo, pupunta ako. Basta gandaan niyo yung birthday ko. Talagang ganun. Demanding si Lola. The best niya. Gandaan niyo dapat birthday ko. Dapat magandang birthday. Oo naman, Lola. Hindi, talagang maganda. Ha? Parang kulang na lang. Meron siyang sabi, dapat dito sa country club. Dapat ganun. Kulang na lang ganyan yung level. Diba? Dapat maganda. Oh, Lola. Kasi yan si Lola naman once. Dinala ko dun sa mga parang karinderya style dito malapit sa amin. Ayoko sabihin yung pangalan. Pero may pagka-inasal chicken, diba? Vibes. So, andun kami. Sarap eh. Parang Batangas style. Parang sa probinsya ganun. Tapos si Lola talagang nakahanda siya. Meron siyang ganyan. Tapos pag upo nila, hindi siya masaya. Sabi ko, ba't Lola? Ayaw mo yung pagkain? Ayaw mo yung vibes? Ayaw mo ganyan? Yung pala, gusto niya social lang. Hindi pwede sa kanya yung mga ganon. Gusto niya dapat yung social. Kasi ready daw siya. So don't worry, Lola. Daling kita doon sa inasal in BGC. Para at least yung environment mo ay social. Hindi na natin pangalanan yung restaurant na yan. Pero may branch yan sa BGC. So, Lola, at least BGC social, di ba? Kahit medyo karinderya style tayo, BGC social. Si Lola, pag medyo mahal yung menu, mas natutuwa siya. Parang reflection yan of support. Tama na, ayaw ko na magsalita. Sorry na. Hindi. Lola has all the right to ask for the best we can give her kasi Lola ko is the queen. Alright? Maraming salamat and please continue to pray for Lola and prayers also for family, loved ones, whoever needs prayers and is in difficult times. Sa atin lahat, we need support, we need love. As you can see, I'm trying to make things lighter, more manageable. Lahat tayo, marami tayong mga drama sa buhay. Ay nako, marami akong drama, hindi ko na sinasabi sa inyo, okay? Ayoko na magsalita. But, let's just try to be happy as much as possible, alright? But happy with substance, right? Happy with good discussions and all. Ang dami kong sinabi, wala pa ring stars, ha? Kanina pa ako nagpaparinig dyan, ha? Nasaan na? Kanina parang 10 minutes na, wala pa rin dumating next wave ng stars. Alright, okay, wag na. Alright, ayan, si Leo Asinto naawa na sa atin. Ayan. Ito yung mga style, parinig. 10 minutes na, wala pa rin yung stars. Ano nga, Nyamet. Apay nga kasta. Payawan ti datong. Okay na tayo. Nakakota na tayo. Pwede na ako mag-good. May kota kasi tayo eh. Parang, you are privileged to have me for 30 minutes to 1 hour. Make it worth it. Okay? May quota tayo. Alright? Pag hindi ko na-meet yung quota, ayaw ko na mag-meta. Mag-showbiz na lang ako. Mag-ibang career na ako. Mag-showbiz ako dun sa Korea. Latino lover. Mga ganun. Fuego. Ayan na naman tayo. Fuego BTS. Meta Zaddy. BTS. Yan. Alright. Ayan kayo eh. Talaga kailangan ko sa kayong pagsabihan. Ilocano style nga. Alright. Gawit tayo. Nubigatin ha. Hasta mañana. Alright. God bless. Thank you very much. Adios. And thank you so much also for your prayers and love for Lola. God bless. Thank you very much po.